Peace and blessings, son. What's up with all the daydreamers out there? Please live it. Don't stoop to this thing. So, mistakes that I've made as a youth leader, number 2. I believe this is number 2, but we gonna treat it like number 2, even if it's not number 2. Let's get it. Let's go. So this is a 2-in-1. You're getting 2 for 1 in this video. So let's go ahead and go with 2A. 2A is this: not having a standard or a guideline by which the team can actually follow. There has to be a standard operating policy or procedure that the team can be accountable for themselves, and they can hold each other accountable with, right? You know what I'm saying? And not in no negative way. Typically, when we hear the word accountability, we think negative and all of this stuff. No, it's just holding each other accountable in the scheme of this is how we maneuver and operate, but it also keeps us on the same page moving forward. Listen to what the scripture says. Psalms 133 verse 1 says this: behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And then there's another place that says, striving to keep the bond of unity in peace. When there's no guidelines, when there is no structure, when there is nothing that people can go to as a team in reference and say, this was the standard or this is the standard, it doesn't bring unity. It brings more confusion. Even if you think that you have a great working relationship, which me and my team believe that we do, we still needed a standard operating procedure. Why? Because without that standard operating procedure, while we felt we was operating really well, when we actually sat down and really analyzed our flaws, we noticed that we was functionally operating within chaos, if that makes sense. So that's 2A. We needed a standard of operating procedure that we could actually follow so that we could be accountable to what we're doing for these teams. And mind you, let me add this, and I'm glad this came to mind. It's not so much being held accountable within each other, that's a part of it, but also holding ourselves accountable to our leaders inside the congregation that are above us. That's number 1. Number 2, holding ourselves accountable to the parents that drop their kids and bring their kids to our events, to our classes, to our Bible studies, our kickbacks and things of that nature. Number 3, holding ourselves accountable to the very teams that we claim to love and serve and work with, right? How can we expect anything to work and function in an order when we are in disorder and chaos? So we had to create us a foundation by which accountability would exist. And nothing speaks accountability like what's written on paper that all parties agreed upon. Now, let me give you 2B, because 2B gonna rock your world. Here we go. As the youth leader, not following or breaking that standard operating policy or procedure, going against the guidelines and everything like that, moving on my own accord, because when you don't follow the standard that all of you all agreed upon, that has been written out, and that all of you are like, thumbs up, I'm with it, let's ride, let's go. Well, you're operating on your own accord and not in one accord. You've broken the bond of unity and peace. I broke the bond of unity and peace when I veered off the beaten path, when I operated on my own accord. I didn't dwell together in unity with my team. But what I love about my team, and I have given them permission to do this, and I'm thankful for them because they are willing to do it, calling me out on the carpet on it. One of them, called me out on the carpet for it. And I had to respond back with, you are correct. I circumvented the process. So I will correct it by doing boom, 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 according to the standard operating procedure by which we have agreed upon that we will follow. I was held accountable for veering off the beaten path, for operating on my own accord. But this particular team member said, let me bring you back to focus. Let me bring you back into one accord. Let me bring you back into operating on one accord and not your accord. Let me get you back into the unity of peace. Let us dwell together in unity, because what you're about to do is not operating in unity. And the bluntness of how the team member stated it needed to be bluntly as they had put it. We have to follow a standard, but what you're doing says that we have to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. Yes, I needed to hear that, and I was thankful for it. Let me give you this last tidbit, and this is probably something that many leaders are lacking, and this is probably one of the biggest mistakes us as leaders inside our ministry are doing. Not having somebody there that will hold us accountable. Having yes men in our corner, people that are not willing to call out the leader of the group or any team member on the mess that is going on. You need somebody inside the midst of your ministry that is willing to speak up when things are going wrong. The sad part about it is, and yes, I'm on mine right now. The sad part about it is the individual that is willing to speak up about the rules being broken and things not going according to how they have been laid out, instructed out, and agreed upon, that person is looked at as if they're creating chaos. They're coming in causing issues and problems. They're a troublemaker. No, they're not a troublemaker. They're trying to be a peacekeeper. Oftentimes, those individuals aren't troublemakers. Yes, there are those out there that want to cause trouble. This is for all those who be like, buts cause you to not move anywhere and stay on your butt. Let me keep going. But those individuals that do speak up about the rules, the regulations, the things that we should be following to help keep the bond of unity and peace, those individuals are not troublemakers. Those are more peacekeepers. Those individuals that don't want to follow the structures and rules and guidelines that have been set down by which a ministry leader or a ministry group should follow, those are the troublemakers, not the peacekeepers. You're just enjoying the fact that you can do what you want when you want with no accountability. I am thankful for my team who and this particular teammate, let me say it like this particular teammate who stepped in and said, wait a minute, you're wrong. Let me bring you back into one accord because you're operating on your own accord. This is the standard by which we agreed upon. This is what we stated we were going to do. So if this is what we stated we are going to do, then guess what? This is what we need to do. You're right. I circumvented the process. So recap, number one, not having a standard, not having a standard of operation policy, not having a guideline that's written down. We had to put that in place, right? And then number two, not following your own guidelines. Because that's a big one for many of us. We implement it on paper and it looks good written down. The work is not getting it written. The work is following it. The work is upholding it. The work is actually doing the policy and keeping it. And the other part is holding people accountable that go against it. I'm thankful for that teammate that called me out. I'm thankful for the fact that we've come to the conclusion that we needed this, but I'm just thankful for the whole process. And that's what it is. We're always growing in our ministries. Don't ever think you've arrived because you haven't. There's always something new to learn. There's always another level that you would have to go to. As your ministry grows, so you must grow also. You cannot stay at the level you were 10 years ago. You can't. There's some things that remain consistent, but there are some things that must change in the effort to better serve the community at large that you are a part of. I hope that this blessed you, man. Much love and respect, man. This your boy Sleep, man. Be safe out there. Peace.